All right, and so like I mentioned, we're putting special focus on that AFYA House probe. Bernard Muchere, the man who uncovered the multi-billion shilling scandal at the Health Ministry, is currently appearing before the Senate Health Committee for the second time in 2 weeks today as the committee seeks to wrap up proceedings. We now want to take you there live to listen in to the conversations and the questioning by the Health Committee.
Is Chairman, I have a file which was referred to me by the Cabinet Secretary, which I'm still actually doing an audit. It's only that now we've had a lot of, much workload. It's not only that particular department, we're also looking at other departments, but because we realized that most of these departments their funds are being utilized at the ministry headquarters. And we want to come up with a comprehensive report on all those departments.
So apart from the National Quality Labs, which other departments are of concern to you?
Government chemists.
Government chemists.
Radiation.
Radiation.
Protection. Yes. Those are the two we are concentrating at the moment.
And you have enough reason also to have queries on their financial management?
Yes.
Now, I assume that the report you have given us as a completed audit report is not complete at all. Am I right?
We did agree here. I said I will concentrate on the issues on the interim audit because I said it's a process. It is the ministry has got very many departments. I will finally complete the whole of that report and then give it to the accounting officer.
Very well. And how long would it take for you to complete internal auditing for all departments?
Probably around January.
Around?
Around January.
January?
Yes.
Beginning or end of January?
Could be end of January. What I intended to do is to liaise with the internal auditor general to see whether I can get more auditors to assist.
So this committee may be right to observe that the so-called completed internal audit report so tabled in this committee today only addresses matters that had been addressed by the press on the interim audit that you had raised earlier.
I would say only on the interim audit report. The press
only completion of the interim audit report.
Yes.
And could we also say that this report you have given us is not a complete audit report, internal audit report of the Ministry of Health? We are right to say that? I'm trying to make the facts properly written. That this report that you have given us is not a total, is not actually a complete internal audit report of the Ministry of Health for the financial year 2015-2016, correct?
Yes, I would say that.
Can we also say that you are concerned with two departments that you are now currently auditing, the national quality, the quality national laboratories and government chemists and radiation. Radiation what?
Protection.
Radiation protection department.
Yes.
You have three departments you are very much concerned with.
Yes, at the moment.
Would you want to highlight a little on what you are concerned with in these three departments?
The major issue here is on the funding and the transfer of their funds. The major issue you have noted is that when we went to the departments, they have payments which are pending. But when we look at the expenditure, the IFMI's expenditure in the headquarters, the funds were exhausted, but they still have payments which they have not actually paid.
Yes, Senator Gitoni.
Chair, as an internal auditor, with these three departments, does it have to come, you had a notice that there is anomaly, there is a problem. Does it have to be the press to whistle blow for you to know that there is a problem? Because when they presented their issues to us, we realized, and you did not mention when you were here. So how do you arrest situations or problems that come in audit until it reaches to that magnitude?
Mr. Chair, an audit is a process. And it doesn't mean that we were not in the process or we are not doing the audit, even when the place is, we are in doing the audit. And an audit is a process. So probably they highlighted where we are still there doing the audit.
Very well. We also did interview officers from NASCOP, where some money had been allocated for purchase of food, which you have ably been able to look at. And from the information we got from the head of the NASCOP, we were told that they were not involved at all in utilization of the money that has been budgeted and allocated to that department, but instead the CFO diverted that money to another department of nutrition. Have you looked into that?
Yes, I said we are in the process, because when we went there, sometimes you go there, you find you don't get these officers, but since it's a process, we noted there was a nutrition and there was a NASCOP. One, we were trying to know what is the correlation, how do they work, because government departments, they interrelate. So now, that is the thing we are trying to look at.
The question here is, does the CFO, according to internal auditing, have powers to divert monies of one department to another?
No.
So that was an illegal allocation, yes, according to internal auditing.
Yes.
Yes, Senator Muchere.
I'd like also to ask a question. Who was really involved? This is about the bank guarantees. Which ministry was really involved in the payment of the goods, and who was sourcing for these goods, so that we will see whether there was a conflict of interest or it was being done as per the procurement laws.
The bank guarantee. We are talking about the LOC and the bank guarantee. Letters for credit.
Yes, I remember we tackled this very, very much in details in the last meeting, where the internal auditor says the Minister of Health actually paid the cooperative bank. And if I remember and quote him, he says that was completely illegal because the Minister of Health was supposed to pay those monies to the central bank. So really, you are not here in the last, but I have to guide you on what we may have covered. You don't have to answer that because I think you answered it adequately, unless you want to add something else. Because Madame is an accountant by profession. She may be picking on something we have not been able to see. Yes. But unless there is anything else, yes, Senator.
Yeah, I really, before you conclude, are we saying that was there any money lost, and if there was, is it 5.3 billion or 3.2? Which amount is lost? Because definitely we cannot be sitting here when there is no money that we are thinking it is missing. So is there any money lost according to your audit?
In my report, I highlighted the four issues which were there. And I pointed about non-compliance with the law. The question is, if somebody does not comply with the law, what is the end result? So at the moment, at what we wrote, it's very difficult for me to say whether the money was lost or not, unless I did a forensic audit. So the forensic audit is the one who can actually confirm whether money was lost, whether a crime was committed. But the normal audit only highlights the red flags. Law has not been complied with. The question is, I also want to ask the parliamentarians enacted this law. What was the objective? It is supposed to prevent something. I presume that, you know. So if it is supposed to prevent something, and then somebody overrides that law, what would be the result? So that's why I cannot answer whether it was lost or not.
Very well. 1 minute before I give you. Are there situations where there are two AIA holders in a vote, in a certain vote?
The law is very clear that there is no divided responsibility.
So there's always only one AIA holder. There's nothing like we call, what was that term? A backup AIA holder, a position the CFO in the Ministry of Health has purportedly decided to hold, a backup AIA holder. There's nothing like that in law.
There's nothing like that, because the law is very clear. There's no divided responsibility, you know. So, and actually it has been happening that, and that's where we have a lot of problems in the government, where you have a super AIA holder.
Very well, Senator Muchere.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. This is a concern. Having done your audit and you realize that money has been lost, the law has been broken, what step do you take next? Because people out there are crying. Hostels don't have drugs. Food is not reaching people where it should reach. What are we supposed to do? You as an auditor, whom do you report to say things are wrong and action needs to be taken in this place? Because if we leave it that way, then it means the same perpetrators will continue to perpetrate crime and the common people out there are suffering. Thank you.
Mayor, I'll save you again on this. He did have an internal audit, and he presented it to the Cabinet Secretary, who is the overall in charge, and he's here presenting the same report to Parliament. I think he has thoroughly done his job very well, and unless we have a compelling question, members have not yet looked at your final report. We have also not looked keenly at the replies to the said queries by the ministry. So it would be naive really to continue to discuss this in a vacuum. We are going to adjourn. We may call you again to show some light on some sections that we may not understand, but we are happy that in your last report it was very comprehensive to read, and we assume you have used the same pattern. We are going to again look at this report, look at the answers, and if necessity arises, we will call you back again, you and your team, to this committee. If you have any very important comment for both your participation in the last meeting and today's meeting, if there's something that you really think you want to bring to our attention, I'll give you 1 minute. to do so.
Mr. Chairman, I really don't have anything to say now. I was accorded some security with a convenience arrangement, because an auditor cannot have an askari here when you are doing your work. And really, there is no threat I have. And I am wish to thank you for that. And since what I did is actually a very innocent audit report. And I do not think, even if I look at it, I was only talking about non-compliance with the law. So I don't know who would think that I'm a threat to him or something like that. So what I'm saying is that in terms of security, I don't have any problem. Nobody has threatened me.
Very well, we will discharge you, and I call upon the members to wait for a few minutes for internal committee matters. Members of the press, thank you very much, because what we are just about to do is housekeeping. I don't think that is for public consumption. Thank you very much.
All right, so that is the first few hours of this continuing probe in regards to the AFYA House alleged lost billions of shillings. That was the Bernard Muchere, who was being questioned by the Health Committee of Parliament, and of course he was being questioned in regards to that audit, in the Senate, I beg your pardon. He was being quizzed on the report that was brought to the light. He brought this report to the light in regards to monies that were allegedly lost in the AFYA House, in the Health Ministry, I beg your pardon. Well, previously he said that there are monies indeed that were lost